Have you ever discovered your parents never wanted you? Growing up, my parents often forgot I was there, literally. I remember being 7 and going a whole day without food because they thought the other one had fed me. They never yelled or hit, just ignored me until they needed something. I moved out at 18 and never looked back. We hadn't spoken in years, so when my dad suddenly called and asked to meet, I agreed, more out of curiosity than anything. Then, over a cold cup of diner coffee, he said something that shocked me. You have a sister. Her name's Mia. She's 19, she's in kidney failure, and you're the only match the doctors found. He didn't pause to let it sink in. He just kept going, saying she was a good kid, that she deserved a chance, and that I should do it because that's what family does, even if we've never met. He said I owed it to them, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. I just stared at him, trying to keep my face blank, but something in me cracked. That night, I called Jamie, my best friend, and told him everything. I told him about the letter I found when I was 16, hidden in a dusty box in the basement. It was from my mom to a doctor, explaining they were trying for another child, because my sister who died when I was 3 needed a bone marrow donor. I was never a son. I was a backup plan they forgot to cancel. A few days later, I agreed to meet Mia. I expected her to be awkward or guarded, maybe even entitled, but instead, she was funny in this dry, effortless way, and curious about everything. She didn't know anything about me or the reasons I was born, and she didn't treat me like a favor someone had to earn. She just saw me. That messed me up more than anything. I kept thinking, if this was the person who needed saving, maybe she didn't deserve to suffer for our parents' choices. I spent more time with her. We talked about stupid things and serious things and nothing at all, and every time I left, I felt a little more like a person and a little less like spare parts. That's when I started therapy, because the things I buried were starting to crawl up on their own. I told the truth for the first time. I cried in that silent, ugly way that leaves your whole body aching. I was finally starting to believe that maybe I didn't have to carry everything alone. My therapist reassured me that this decision was mine to make and shouldn't let anyone influence my decision. A couple days later, I decided I would donate. The day of the surgery came, and when I walked into the hospital, they were all waiting. My parents looked smaller than I remembered, worn down by time and choices. Mia looked terrified, and when our eyes met, I felt something loosen in my chest. After the prep, after the sterile lights and the endless paperwork, after the pain, I woke up in recovery to find Mia already smiling from the bed next to mine. She pointed to the bandage at her side and said, "Guess we're stuck with matching scars now," and for the first time in a long time, I laughed without forcing it. Later, my parents came in. I told them how I had felt like spare parts for most of my life, like I was never really a kid, never really theirs. My mom cried the entire time. She said the grief of losing her first daughter hollowed her out, and she didn't know how to be a mother after that. My dad didn't make excuses. He just said he was sorry for being an a-hole, and that he couldn't bear the thought of losing another daughter, even if it meant asking me for something that big. They said they wanted to do better. They asked if I'd consider being part of the family again. I said I'd think about it. Now, I see Mia once a week. She still makes the same dry jokes and still treats me like someone worth knowing. She sends me dumb memes and tells me about her classes and always signs off with, "Thanks again, big bro."